I don't really care. And you've got to have an indifferent attitude towards what people think of you when you're working on becoming better than what you were yesterday.
Got a crazy video for you today.
She's not yours, it's just your turn. A woman should be a complement to your life, not the focus.
Do the work.
Women do not care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winners. What is up, my brothers from another mother? In this video, I want to address the guys that often call in on live shows. We do the Before the Trainwreck series, and Sean and I have slowly been tapering off taking the inbound calls because we tend to get a lot of people that are asking the same question over and over, which is usually them struggling with a low value or a problematic relationship. Now, these guys get real mad. They get mad at themselves. They get mad at the relationship. They get mad at their chick. They get mad at the world, society. One of the problems is they're picking up on low-hanging fruit. Like low-hanging fruit or fruit that's already fallen to the ground and rotting is not the highest quality. You're always going to run into it, but often these guys are resigned to that because it's really the best that they can do. It's not entirely their fault. They've been lied to some degree, but at the same time, I want to address those lies and at least give you guys some options or opportunity to come out with better results, so you don't need to call up a couple of random guys on the internet and say, I'm having problems with this girl that's 10 years older than me that brings two different kids from two different fathers to the relationship, and she's got these personality disorders. Okay, we need to have a frank discussion about a self-assessment. Looks, money, status, and to some degree game as well matters a great deal when it comes to doing well in a sexual marketplace or having good experiences for yourself as a guy when it comes to women. If you're a low value guy, you're going to have a difficult time. You're going to get frustrating results. You're going to get treated like a plow horse. You're going to end up with low hanging fruit that's 10 years older than you, that brings all kind of baggage to the table that realistically you shouldn't be dealing with if you're a 30-year-old guy. A high-value 30-year-old guy can date or get involved with a woman that's, easily 8, 9, 10 years younger than them. But quite often I see them resigning themselves to low-value relationships because themselves, they're missing something. And it's always revealed when I ask this question. You might have noticed it from time to time when I'm doing broadcasts, but if somebody's calling in, they're getting bad results, and I start to get confused about where they're standing, so I need to get some clarity. So I ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the very best version of yourself, meaning you can't get any better than a 10 for yourself, not comparing yourself to anybody else, or 1, with 1 being the worst. Often the response is usually sub 5. It's usually around 3 or 4 is what people respond with. And at the end of the day, if your value is a 4 on the sexual marketplace out of 10, you're not going to have a great experience. Yeah, that's how you end up in an environment or a scenario where you're going to be in a frustrating relationship where you might be treated like a plow horse or an ATM, or you get involved with a single mommy and she's got kids that are going to abuse you or treat you like crap. I understand some people get upset when I talk about value on the sexual marketplace, but I've dedicated a chunk of my upcoming book on this particular topic, and not so many words. Generally speaking, guys, here's what I'd recommend you do if you're about a 5 or 6 or lower. I'm going to say 6 or lower. If you're rating yourself a 6 out of 10 or lower, I'd say just go monk mode. Like, this is when you want to disconnect from the sexual marketplace and reallocate your time, effort, resources, and money, all of that stuff, within yourself. That's where you're going to get the best ROI throughout your entire life anyway. But rather than going and chasing tail, you need to stop chasing tail and start chasing excellence. When you're a man of vision and purpose and has a plan, like a passion, something that you've got that puts a little bit of a dent in the universe, people start to notice that. Women will notice it. Your friends will notice it. Your family will notice it. You'll probably often, when you start to pivot and you change you change your beliefs and your behaviors, you're probably going to be criticized by people. Women that you might have been previously involved with will, I like the old guy better. I like the old rich better, is something that I've heard, once or twice in my life. I don't really care. And you've got to have an indifferent attitude towards what people think of you when you're working on becoming better than what you were yesterday. If you're getting crap results, it's because your beliefs suck, because you're making bad choices and you're getting those crap results. Reinvest your time back in on yourself on things like looks, money, status. I mean, let's just deal with those 3 things. I'm not even going to deal with game, but looks, money, and status are probably the 3 biggest things. A lot of guys will complain and be like, well, I'm bald, or I'm short, or I'm scrawny, or I've got a weird shaped head that I can't shave, or blah, 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 insert excuse there. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Honestly, if you're short, be short with muscles and lots of game and lots of money. Mick Jagger's an ugly dude. He has no problem with women, but he's got loads of bank and he's got social influence, right? Look, he's got status. So whatever your deficiency is that you can't control, I can't do anything about losing my hair, so I shave my head, right? And I have that look, like that's my look. You have to go and take ownership for looks, and you can do things to improve it. A lot of the dudes, I'm telling you, man, they'll ask me advice on women and I'll ask them where they are with self-care. You know, often this will come up with coaching sessions. You know, the way to define how well you're taking care of yourself, I think in an easy way is, dude, when you get out of the shower, do you see belly or do you see your feet and your Johnson? Because if you're not seeing your feet and your Johnson, you got some belly fat you got to burn off. Get into cardio, get a membership at a gym, join a dojo, take up a martial art. Doesn't matter if it's boxing, Krav Maga, it doesn't matter. Become competent. Learn combat sports is another thing that I really like to encourage guys to do as well. So when it comes to the looks department, you've got opportunities to improve, whether you choose to believe it or not. If you choose to believe it and you start investing some time in yourself and improving, your teeth are yellow, get them cleaned up, right? You got terrible hair, shave your head if there's no point in holding on to scraps. You get bad haircuts and you have hair, find a stylist that knows how to style your hair for your particular, face shape and all that sort of stuff. You get bad clothes, update your style and your wardrobe. It doesn't take much to look good. I mean, I can throw on a decent pair of jeans that will cost me under $100 and a nice fitted black t-shirt from a nice men's store, less than $40 probably, and I look top shelf, right? So you have to figure out what that look's going to look like for you. Looks matter. Let's talk about money. Guys, if you're not making a sufficient amount of money that lets you maneuver and make choices and not behave like a Scrooge as you navigate the world, you're going to do pretty well, right? I'm not saying that you need to be a multimillionaire, but I mean, if you want to get into the top 1%, depending on where you live in which city in North America, top 1% income earners could be anywhere from $200,000 a year up to I think about $480,000 a year, and then you're in the top 1%. Now that's not possible for every single guy, but I guarantee that you can find ways to make more money than what you're doing right now. If you've got hobbies that are wasting your time, i.e. sitting around watching sports all day or playing in a fantasy football league or on video games, or watching, video after video of why bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, that standard narrative that you see on some other these YouTube channels, you're wasting your time when you could be taking yourself from that nonsense and reinvesting it in yourself when it comes to maybe starting up a side hustle. Hey, maybe a YouTube channel's in your future. I don't know, but there's things that you can do to improve your money situation. If you're the kind of guy that's going to throw your hands up in the air and goes, well, I can't do that. There's no way, you're totally disconnected from reality, Rich, blah, blah, blah. It's not that I'm, that much smarter than other people. It's just, yeah, I'm older. Yeah, I've done some more work. Yeah, I got the scars and I've fallen down. I've broken the bones and I've bled. I've done all those things. I've learned from my lessons, but I've also looked for ways to learn from the lessons of other people. And if you go and do the work on yourself to improve your looks and work on your bank, your money situation, you're going to do far better off when it comes to women. If you don't come crying to me and calling in the show and going, I'm having a hard time with my girlfriend. Yeah, how old are you? Well, I'm 30. And how old is she? Well, she's 39. Yeah, does she have any kids? Yeah, she's got 3 kids from 2 different fathers. I'm going to stop you right there and hang up because, guys, that's like basic 101 stuff. You're ending up with those problems because you're grabbing the low-hanging fruit. The top shelf fruit, the highest quality stuff is not lying on the floor rotting. It's somewhere where you're going to have to, have the access to it. And you're only going to have the access to it if you got your looks, money, and status sorted out. I mean, like even a guy with a couple thousand Twitter followers or a social media account, with some influence could be deemed as somebody with status or have some influence to somebody that's looking for that in a guy. Because women do seek that. I mean, it's part of their it's part of their core nature. It's part of their core belief. I've spoken about hypergamy a lot on the channel, and it really just boils down to is her asking herself, is this the best that I can do? A chick that's a 7 out of 10 is not going to go out with a 5 out of 10. It's just not going to happen. So you're going to have a bad experience. You're going to end up going with low quality, low tier women and getting frustrated and getting difficult results. And, really the juice just won't be worth the squeeze. All right, guys. So your whole resolution to this problem is really take a step back, do a self-assessment of yourself, rank yourself, and figure out where you are, where your deficiencies are, and then look for opportunities to do some work and increase your value. One thing I'll say is a lot of guys tend to undervalue themselves, if I've spoken to them, I've seen them face to face, and I'll say, like, where do you put yourself? And say, I feel like a 4 out of 10. I got a lot of room for improvement, but I'll look at them and I'll know that they're a point or two higher. Women tend to overvalue themselves when they would step back to try to assess themselves. I think guys generally tend to undervalue themselves. So you can probably give yourself a 1-point advantage there, but at the end of the day, I know that there's something that you can do to become better than what you were yesterday. You probably know yourself. You're not in your head and go, yeah, I don't like what he's saying. It's kind of offensive and he's telling me to do work, but he's right. I've got to do the work. So it really boils down to that, dudes. So look, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, do yourself a favor, smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. YouTube's been pretty bad lately about showing new videos to people in my subscription feeds. So guys, if you want to get notified by new videos when they come out, you've got to hit that bell. Otherwise, you're just not even going to hear about it because it's just the way they are today with my type of content. Also, I've got a book coming out later on this year. One of the things that you need to get familiar with so that you can get better results with women when it comes to dating them, or if you're going to get into LTR, or whatever your fancy might be, your best bet is going to be to grab the free chapter on 20 red flags, which is in the pinned description in the top comment. It's also in the description. You'll find it in the social media links if you follow me everywhere else on Twitter and Instagram, for example. And last but not least, guys, do the work. It really boils down to that. If you're not getting good results out there, stop chasing tail. Start putting some effort into chasing excellence, and the ROI will pay off for you at some point, and you will get far, far better results. Also, if you're looking for a group of men to hold you accountable to getting these results, I've got a men's community. I've had a lot of guys join in that community a few years ago, starting from, like a 4 out of 10. They've done the work over the last few years, made more money, improved their looks, generated a look for themselves, gotten rid of toxic people, gotten out of toxic relationships, and leveled up. There's a link for that below for my men's community. There's a video that explains how it all works. Maybe we'll see you guys on the inside. If not, see you guys in the next video. Peace.